Terry.
Welcome back to another episode in our fourth farm series here on Survival Dispatch. Today we are finally hooking up some water on the property.
It's gonna be nice.
It's been a long wait, and speaking of waiting, just because you're ready for water and you call and say, hey, I'm ready to get my water main hooked up, don't expect it anytime soon.
And right now, this video was done back closer to 2016 when things had been slow in the construction world, although it's never been really slow in this area. But right now, after the pandemic and all the stuff that's going on,
the building boom around here at least.
Yeah, you wait for everything.
You're gonna wait a month and a half to 2 months for anything to happen when you're calling for a service like this. We had to wait 5 weeks when we called.
Yeah,
so
it was slow then.
Yeah, just expect that wait. Nothing happens overnight.
Yeah.
And you know, this is one of those tasks, if you're at all mechanically inclined, you can be your own plumber for this without a problem.
Yeah, this isn't rocket science. There's no drainage, nothing. It's crimping a pipe to a connector, screwing it in, putting some Teflon tape on it. It's pretty simple. If you're at all skilled in this type of stuff, $140 for a set of crimps.
Yeah.
And you know, a few tools you probably have.
Yeah.
You know,
there's nothing to it. It's very simple, especially, that's the great thing about PEX. There's no soldering, you know, there's no flux, nothing like that to worry with. You literally cut the plastic pipe, you slide your crimp on it, slide it on the connector, and crimp, and you're done. And
PEX, you know, we buried our stuff deep, but I've talked to plumbers who purposefully ran PEX on top of the ground with the water service on a construction job on a rough end.
Yep.
And they said that it literally froze and swelled at night, and then in the daytime it'd thaw back out, and the water run fine, and never had a problem. You can, you know, I wouldn't suggest making your pipe freeze. It's probably not the best thing for it.
But it was a good test.
Yeah, but it's
tough
tough
very
stuff.
Durable stuff, and the great thing also is, because of the distance we're running right at 300 feet, we were able to buy a 300-foot roll of PEX and roll that as one connection from the water main to our split up at the house sites, and there are no connections in the ground except for those 2 locations that are in a box. We don't have to worry.
You run copper tubing that far, it's going to cost you a fortune.
Especially right now, it's going to be very expensive, and you don't want to run CPVC. So PEX is a really good option, very viable, and just it works really well, very robust. So we hope you guys enjoyed this video. We go through the whole process of hooking up the water. We'll see you on the flip side. Okay, we got the trench dug, but now we have to do some detail digging around the water junction box. So here's the box they put in, and as you can see, it's a pretty small box. We bought a bigger one to put up here for our hose connection, and as you can see, there's really no room to work in here. It's very tight quarters. On the bottom of this box, there's generally speaking a line in and a line out. So we're gonna have to dig the existing box up from the waterworks, make our connection, and put the box back in place so that we can do our connections in that confined area. Nice clumpy soil.
Typical Carolina clay.
Now we are going to dig out for our junction to hook up a water hose right now. And this is the tub we bought. We bought it at a big box store. It was about $12. It is 10 inches round and about 12, 14 inches tall. It has a spin lock system, and you got a finger hole you can drop your finger in to open it up, and has an inlet and an outlet if you need it. All we need is the inlet just to bring the water line in, and we're going to do all our work down in here. They make rectangular boxes, or they have the round ones, all various sizes. We went with the round one because it's economically priced and it'll do whatever we need done out here. So I guess right now I'm just going to mark roughly where I want it. We figured after digging for about 10 minutes and not making it very far, this ground has turned very, very hard in a short amount of time because of the lack of rain.
It's Carolina clay.
Yeah, it's Carolina clay. It gets really hard really quickly.
Down by the road, there's not that much topsoil. Up in our land, it's better, you know, but down here by the road, it's pretty solid, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very solid. So we diverted our path and made it a lot shorter. Just going to drop it back here behind the post of the fence and wait until we get the trencher to go any further and make our actual line up to the house sites.
This will get us through.
Yeah, this will get it done. All right, I'm going to mark where I'm going here, somewhere in here, and I'll start digging that bad boy out. Gotta love a good Fisker's all steel shovel. Thing is extremely solid and sharp.
It's heavy. It'll work your arms when you're using it, but man, does it dig good.
Ugh.
It doesn't bend. That's
no, not a bit.
And Brian, he's kind of built like a Sasquatch. If he don't bend it, it's probably not going to bend.
Yeah, that's about right. It's set. We got it pretty level. It's down in the ground where it needs to be. So now we're going to run the line and get it buried, make our connections, and we should have water here pretty soon. Okay, before I put this fitting in, I want to clean that up a little bit. Again, just eliminating any chances of getting any dirt.
Want a screwdriver?
Just a second. Let me show them this. As you guys can see, there is a plug in the end of the valve that'll keep dirt from getting in the hole.
And that's where you got to remove and install your connector.
Yep. Okay, screwdriver please. Thank you. And we pop that bad boy out.
There's a little bit of dirt around that edge, see it?
Yep. Okay, you got the tape? Okay, now we're going to wrap this really tightly so that the tape goes down in the grooves. Additionally, you want to wrap in the direction such that when you're screwing it in, it doesn't try to unwrap your tape.
So if you're looking at the end of the connector, you're going to be going in a clockwise rotation. If you're looking at the end that's actually going to screw in, you're wrapping it in a clockwise rotation. And it should be about 3 layers thick. That should be about it, shouldn't it?
Should be.
Snap
Just
that bad boy off.
Okay. Okay, now let's put it in. Okay, time for some pliers, or channel locks, I should say.
And we'll come back and check this joint, and we don't want to get it too tight, we don't want to break the plastic. But we'll come back and check it after we get the line in and make sure that it's not leaking. If it is, we'll snug it up a little more. That Teflon tape really helps.
Yeah, it does. Alrighty, let's get some PEX in here. Okay, that's good enough for now. Okay, now what I've got to do is put one of these PEX connectors on there and then use our handy dandy crimp tool, and it will crimp down on the fitting and give us a watertight seal. Okay, as you can see, you take your crimp goes over the PEX, then you slide your PEX onto the fitting.
And that's a 3/4 PEX, 3/4 outlet, and a 3/4 pipe fitting, right?
Yep. And then, you want to hold pressure on this inward so it doesn't rock around on me?
Sure enough.
Thank you. Then, right here on the side of my crimp tool is a little white dot. That is actually a blue light. So when I have applied proper pressure, that will light up and let me know that I am good to go. As you can see, it lit up blue. We are good to go. And then all we do is twist the ratchet release and it's good. Okay, let's move up to the other end and get this bad boy hooked up. Okay, I could measure the pipe and get it cut to the proper length and then make everything up inside that box. Or, since this will fit through the hole, I'm gonna go ahead and make it up after I get it measured where I want it, and then just slide the whole thing through the hole, set the box down, and I'm done.
Step back, make sure it's good and tight here, or
Yep.
positioned properly. You could throw some of them dirt clods on
I'm gonna
it.
throw some dirt on it just to help hold it in place. Get one of these big heavy dirt clods.
A couple spots. That ought to do.
Yep, we should be good. Okay, I'm gonna cut this a little bit long because it'd be nice to have it a little closer to the top when you go to hook it up. If it won't work out, we'll just keep it lower, but we're gonna cut it long, see what happens.
And do a dry fit, not actually connect it, just slide everything together.
What do you think, right about here?
Yeah. And you can cut a little off when you get in there if you need to.
Yep. We may need to invest in some new cutters. These are kind of old.
Yeah, they are.
Put that back in there so it don't get dirty.
Turkey out there.
Yep. That's definitely too long. Okay, to show you up close, as you can see, this is way too long, and this stuff is pretty stout. It doesn't want to flex much. So I obviously see this is too long. If I want this near the top, I want to cut right about on this S on plumbing systems, and I'll drop it in there, and we should be just under the top with it. So while holding this bucket down so it don't go all over, I'll reach in. Cut that bad boy off. Now we got a big milkshake straw. And test fit this bad boy again. And that will be perfect. We can reach in there, turn that on, and we're all set. Okay, so now I'm gonna build another connection, and just gonna slide the crimp over the PEX.
And we use stainless steel crimps because they should last.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna get my handy dandy crimp tool. Whoop.
There you go, blue light.
Okay, so now we'll slide that bad boy through here. Hey, you want to turn it on and test it before we do all this?
You need, you got it crimped.
Everything's crimped.
Okay, yeah, before we bury it, let's try it out. Shoot it out on that field. Good thinking there, big guy.
You want to go turn that on at the main?
Okay, hold tight. Don't turn it on yet. We're gonna pull it over there by the field. Okay, to turn this on. You sure you got yours off, Brian?
Yep.
You just, this thing is crosswise with the pipe, it's off. When it's in line with the pipe, it's on. And you can hear the water. Oh, it's not tight.
Oh, stop, turn it off. I didn't put tape on my connector.
You retard, you didn't even. You didn't even...
Bring it over here. Okay, so here's what you don't do. You don't do a dry fit to show you guys what's going on and then forget to put plumber's tape on your fitting, because water goes everywhere. So now I got to drain the water, dry it off, tape it up, and put it back together.
Turn it on, let it out. It's probably, most of the pressure is probably out of it. Yeah.
Okay. I had one of those moments.
This is when I say, as Sanford and Son would say, you big dummy.
At least we know the water's on.
Yeah, don't get that full of dirt.
I'm not. I'm going to set it down. At least we know the water works.
Definitely got water. You know what? Before you put that valve on, why don't you point that pipe out in the field and I'll crank it up and let it shoot some water out and clean that line out.
Okay.
You want to do that?
We could do that.
Just in case there's any boogers in it.
Okie dokie. Oop. Stepped on my mat. Hit it, Sam.
Hold on. Hey, point it right at your face. That'd really be cool.
How about I point it at you?
Oh no, we can't do that.
Hey!
Hey, we got water.
Now that we're back to this, we're going to make sure this is properly taped and tightened so I don't get soaking wet again. So let's do this. Okay, again, remember to have your Teflon tape running in the direction of the twist so that you don't pull it off when you're tightening the item up. And also remember to pull it nice and tight so that you get down in those grooves. You want to do about 3 wraps around the whole thing. Oops, slipped on me there. Got to keep it pulled nice and tight, keep that thumb on it, or else it will come untwisted. I'm not a pro at this, so it takes a little bit of work to make it happen. Oop. There we go. That's done up. Let's get it screwed in there. Okay, now I need some channel locks. Okay, now I'm going to give it some final tightening. It's an awkward angle.
And we're not plumbers, we just pretend like we are.
That's it.
Make sure you get your pliers going in the right direction so that they close as you push them.
I think that bad boy's pretty tight.
And that's about the right angle.
We know the water works, it's not leaking, so let's get it in the container and get this bad boy buried so we can go home and eat some supper.
Home and eat supper, we got to get a sprinkler out here.
That too.
Food is for the weak.
Okay, that's in there. Get my gloves on. And I'm gonna start filling this hole in.
Tamp that your left, your left side down just a little bit if it'll go. That's good.
Okay.
It's a little crooked, but this is a temporary. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, this is just temporary fix. It's not permanent.
Don't get water or dirt in the spigot.
I'm trying to avoid getting it in there.
Stick the cap over it.
Why would I want to go and do something that makes sense? Line my grooves up and twisty twisty. He's kind of smart every now and then. Well guys, we hope you enjoyed this and found it informative. I mean, there's definitely a lot of good information in there, I think, for anybody wanting to do their own plumbing. You know, this is the start of that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We'll get into much more detail on plumbing once we get into the houses. We'll get into the drainage and everything. And
we're going to plumb our houses. I'm not afraid of that at all.
No, save a lot of money that way.
Ever since I was a kid, I've been fixing people's plumbing and, in my family, you know, grandmas and a lot of different plumbing and replumbed most of our house we're in now.
You just can't be afraid to learn from your mistakes because you will make them.
Well, we've never had anything wrong.
Nothing really, no.
No leaks. Nothing was running uphill.
No.
No flooding.
As long as it runs downhill a 1/4 inch per foot, you're good.
You're good. Yeah, I thought at one time somebody told me it was a 1/4 inch per 20 foot, but
it's not going to drain real
well.
well.
The more I thought about that, I'm like, that is not going to work.
That's a heck of a
I think they did that on purpose.
Probably.
Yeah.
But definitely check back soon, guys. We got a lot more coming. We're going to be running the trench from the water drop that we just did up to the house sites, and that's a lot of fun running that trenching machine. It's just fun to run heavy machinery in general.
Oh yeah.
But check back soon. We got a lot more coming. If you like what you see, give us a big thumbs up for a like. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell next to the subscribe button so you get notified when we post new videos. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook. And have a good one, guys.
See you next time.